This is Portside Perspectives, exploring the yacht economy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Portside Perspectives. Today I'm here speaking with Matt Schwartz, the general manager of Wacca Wache Marina in Murrells Inlet. Yeah, welcome, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We'll get into the marina and where you guys are and who your business is and all of that. But first, I want to know, Matt, how did you even get to be here and being the general manager of a marina in the first place?
That's a good question. My wife and I moved to Murrells Inlet in 2018, and we moved down here. She had a job. I really had no idea what I was going to do. I spent about 10 years in the luxury transportation business up in New York, and they were looking for help with the marina. So I applied and I started just doing, desk work, running the front desk, dealing with contracts and customers and whatnot. And then that was 2018, 2021, the marina sold. And the manager at the time gave us 2 weeks notice, and everything fell in place. And here I am today, managing the marina.
Did you say you were in luxury travel before?
Yeah, ground transportation. Yep, limousines.
Oh, okay. Can you explain that a little bit more? What were you doing there?
So I was doing dispatch, fleet maintenance for a company called Dynasty. We had about 40 cars with, party buses, shuttle buses, and stuff like that. It was interesting. It was stressful at times, but it was fun at times because you're responsible for making people's wedding day go off without a hitch, making sure everything was coordinated properly, making sure unfortunately us men, we always run behind. We always blame it on the women for running late, but it's always us. But the men really set the pace for.
Hey, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Absolutely.
Cool. That's interesting. Okay, so and now you're the general manager of Wacca Wache Marina. Tell me a little bit about the marina itself.
So I like to call it a small marina. We're really not that small, but we act like a small marina where we know every customer's name. Everyone gets the same attention, whether you have an 18-foot bowrider or you have a 60-foot sportfish. Everyone gets treated the same way. And because of that, that's really helped grow the marina. Whether it's the locals that are here or people coming in. We have a restaurant on site. So a lot of boaters come in. They want to have lunch. So, we interact with everyone. We treat everyone, every boat the same way. And word spreads. And that's pretty much how our transient business grew and helped us become where we are today.
Okay. So, we're kind of on it now here. Can you maybe speak about that whole transient business as you refer to it? So you're in a unique location, I suppose. Can you kind of talk about that first of all, and then kind of explain like the whole transient business that is so important to what you guys are doing there?
Yeah. So we're in a unique area. We're on the Intracoastal Waterway. 3 miles to the east of us is the actual inlet for Murrells Inlet, the saltwater side. So in order to get from saltwater side to where we are, it's about a 4-hour boat ride. You have to run the ocean, come in through Georgetown, and then head north to get to us. What's great about us is you can run the ICW when it's raining, when it's windy, because we don't get that kind of, swells and stuff like that on the river. So when it's rough offshore, we see a huge pickup with transients, whether it's wintertime and those boats are heading south, or if it's springtime and the boats that migrated south for the winter are now moving north. Then we just have people who literally cruise there on their boat. That's where they live and that's what they do. They cruise 24/7. So we always have transients. The America's Great Loop It's a 6,000-mile boat ride that circumnavigates the eastern waterways up through Canada, and we're one of the premier spots for people to stop at. Again, it comes down to how we treat our customers. Everyone gets treated the same way, and one person has a great experience, they're telling five. Out of those five, three stop, and they're telling more and more. And it gets to a point where you have to give people a reason to stop at your marina, and when they stop, you have to give them a reason to want to spend money at your marina. And I cannot speak volumes enough of the team that we have in place here. They do a fantastic job working the docks.
Right. So how big is the marina? Like, who can you accommodate? Just so people know, like, if they're coming through that area, do you have room for? You tell me. Well, who do you have room for, and who do you expect to kind of come in? And obviously, super yachts are not going to make a run up the river or anything like that. But like, give us an idea of who you kind of accommodate and the people you serve.
So, number one rule in customer service, there is no word no. So when someone calls and say, hey, we need a slip, we take it and we figure out, okay, where are we going to put them? Typically, we have, 12 to 14 spots where we can put transients. There are times where we have to get very creative and we squeeze them in. But like I said, there's no such word as no.
Right. Let's say, I mean, if you were to get bigger, is there any room for you guys to expand and grow the marina at all? Or are you kind of limited to what you have for real estate on the water?
Water-wise, we're pretty much where we are. When it comes to dry rack storage, we have plenty of room to expand that way. We already have. But as far as wet slips go and what we can accommodate, we're at that max.
Well, let's talk about that then. You also have dry rack storage, so you have some room there for I'm assuming more for locals, but talk about that a little bit more. It's not just an on-water marina; you have dry storage as well.
Yeah, so we like to call ourselves a full service marina. So yes, we do have dry storage. We can currently store boats that are up to 28-foot LOA. Everything is done via an app. So if you want to schedule a launch, you can schedule your launch up to 48 hours in advance. If you want fuel, you can request it on the app. It's pretty straightforward. You pick the time, you pick the day, both in the water waiting for you at that time, at that day.
Do you do servicing as well?
We do. So what's unique about our service department is a lot of people like to have full-time mechanics. We're not. We've tried that. It doesn't work. So we have a partnership with a father and son team, Jack and Craig Deese Marine. They are phenomenal mechanics. They're thorough. They don't cut corners. The father, Craig, he's been a mechanic for years and years and years. I'm telling you, when he was probably born with a wrench in his hand. Jack, phenomenal mechanic. He is fantastic with technology. So you have the old school in the father, and you have the new age with the son, and you combine them, and there's nothing that can't work on.
And what's the name of their business?
Deese Marine.
Deese?
Deese. Yep.
How do you spell that?
Deese.
Okay, cool. Just a bit of a shout out for them as well, and in case we're in the area and they are in need of. I mean, obviously, locals probably know about them, and you definitely work alongside them, like you said, in a bit of a partnership. But it's good for people to know that if they are kind of in that transient situation coming through, and they have some issues, that they could swing in and get something taken care of, while they're in the area there.
Without a doubt.
Well, it's cool. I mean, you guys got a full service marina. You've got the restaurant there. You also have rentals and stuff. You want to talk about that a little bit? What you guys have in the way of rentals and that sort of thing? I think it was a lot of. You kind of have a lot. Well, you tell me. What's your fleet look like as far as the rentals?
So we have Tri-Tunes. We have 4 Tri-Tunes at the moment. It's a competitive business, rentals. Everyone thinks, okay, it's you hop in a boat, but you have to set parameters, especially where we are. There's a lot of side creeks that you don't want people going into. There's a lot of low-lying trees. So we have to restrict, unfortunately, where both can go. But yeah, it's up and coming. I mean, we started a couple years ago. It's gonna take some time to build to where we want to get, but we'll get there. Slow and steady.
And I'm just on your website here right now, and I see a little tab here that says events. Do you guys hold events and things in the marina as well, or kind of explain that a little bit?
Not a whole lot. The restaurant will hold more events. The biggest one that they hold is for an animal shelter, All Four Paws. They're local. They're one town over in Pawleys Island. So they do a little fundraiser once or twice a year for the shelter. But yeah, that's pretty much the events that we hold.
Oh, okay. So I just it's on the website. I was like,
yeah,
events. What like you guys?
Yeah, no concerts or parties or anything like
weddings
that.
and things like that. No, not so much.
No.
Okay. Well, awesome. Okay. Well, so Matt, I mean, you seem to be in a natural position to gather a lot of business just due to your location and what you are. Oh, you have some airboats too, don't you?
We do. So that's through Plantation River Tours. They have two airboats. They take you through pretty much all the backwaters where our pontoons can't go. It's a nature sightseeing tour. You'll see some alligators, some birds, and whatnot. They also have the plantation tour, which takes you past all the old rice plantations, more of a history tour for about 2.5 hours.
So anybody who stops in with they're on the tour on the Great Loop, and they stop in to get some fuel and some food, and or maybe weather the storm further out in the ocean, they also have the option to come in and go on a tour or something like that through you guys as well. And
without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Just so everybody understands, like Wacca Wache Marina is not just a place to stop in and get some fuel. You got some other options to hang out and tour and all these other things. And that's awesome. So, you know, I personally am in kind of the marketing business as well. So I'm always interested to hear how other businesses are marketing themselves and the strategies that they use and tools that they use. So can you give me a bit of a sense of what you guys are doing as far as getting your name out there and making sure people know who you are and where you are and all of that, and some of the marketing strategies that you're utilizing to just get your name out there so people know where you are and to swing in while they're coming by?
Yeah, so we are a sponsor for the Great Loop, the America's Great Loop Cruiser Association. That helps driving people. Otherwise, it's just having competitive fuel prices. Really, word of mouth just drives in the business here. We do very limited marketing. It's just how you treat people, your prices, and then they just drive themselves in.
So how do people even know that you're there? Like, I mean, we're talking about some transient people that are, offshore coming inland. If they don't know that you're there, I mean, obviously, if they've been there, they've been there. Word of mouth, blah 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 blah. Are you doing anything in the way of, your social media? Nothing paid or anything like that necessarily, but like just trying to do your best to get people who aren't aware of who you are and where you are and what you offer.
So we have a Facebook page, but that only reaches those that are in the area, kind of looking.
It only reaches those who are. I know it's social media. It only reaches those that you actually are connected to. So
it amazes me. Last week there was a boat from my hometown that came in here and they heard about the marina on Long Island. And I'm saying to myself, how cool is that? The marina that you manage is known in your hometown. And we aren't a huge marina. So it speaks volumes of word of mouth can really make you or break you.
Yeah,
and
and it's not like you can
that's
go
market.
park. It's not like you can go park signs out in the middle of the ocean that say "fuel this way." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Le-
Exactly.
fuel,
Yep.
fuel 10 kilometers ahead. I kilometers. I'm Canadian,
Yeah.
so I'm 10 miles ahead, whatever. But yeah, it's not like you have that option. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's why I'm asking. It's like, how do you draw those people in from offshore in up the river inlet to a business like this? Uh, and it's interesting that word of mouth and referrals are such a massive part of that business. Um, do you personally think that the business would benefit from any other kinds of marketing and letting people know we're making the name a little bit bigger than what it is right now? Maybe just give me your insights onto that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could. I mean, we don't know until we try. But again, if it's not broken, don't fix it type
Fair enough.
scenarios that we're kind of playing with. My wife and I were on a cruise 2 years ago, and wherever I go, I always wear a Wacca Wache shirt. And we're walking around the boat, and someone taps me on the shoulder and they go, "Oh my God, we love that marina." And I was saying to myself, I'm in the Caribbean, and people know the marina. It's mind boggling.
Yeah,
It's like just the coolest thing.
that is really cool. I mean, the strength of the just natural word of mouth marketing. It doesn't need anything other than what it be, being what you are and offering the
Yeah,
services you serve and the customer service that you offer. Obviously, it brings people back.
and that goes back to it's all about the people that you have working for you.
Yeah,
If we all share the common goal of fantastic customer service and treating everyone the same. We don't care if you're a sailboat that's taking 12 gallons of diesel, or you're just a 32-foot boat that wants to come in and have lunch. It doesn't matter. You're still getting treated the same way. And you'd be surprised how many people pull up to our front docks and they go, "Wow, there's 3 or 4 of you here. The other marinas, there's no one to catch our lines." And we all look at each other like, how is that even possible?
yeah.
So
So
I
how big is your staff? Like how many people total do you have working there? I mean, through the marina itself, your rentals and the restaurant and the whole marina, the whole package. How many staff do you have there?
Well, let me ask you this: how many people do you think we have on staff?
How many do I think you have on staff? Well, I would guess a handful on the dock, restaurant, and then you have the dry
So,
park.
the restaurant, we
I
don't
would
own
say
the restaurant. We just lease the restaurant out. So
Oh,
take the
you don't own the restaurant. You
yeah,
you
we lease that out.
real estate and oh, okay. So let's exclude the
Yep.
restaurant. I would guess you probably have around 20 to 25 staff total, in my opinion, but I'm just guessing. I'm throwing that out there.
What if I told you we had 12?
12, and that's between the marina and the dry storage and
Yep.
well, and the service. I guess you guys contract out. You have
Yep.
like that. It was D's mechanics that you contract out, so that's separate as well. Um, and all these 12 people, are they, you know, Monday to Sunday? You
Some
know,
are part time. Some are 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Um, but yeah, I got a dedicated crew that just they work their butts off.
they.
And
I can see it. I'm just looking at the images of your website here and the size of the marina and 12 people. People need days off and they need time off and all of that. That's if in a busy season, I can see how they would be. Uh,
yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
there are days where we're down 2 or 3 people, and we're
Yeah.
we're all running. I'll be running any which way I can to help, but it works.
Why not? Well, perfect. I mean, if it works, it works. Don't fix what's not broken.
Yep.
So let me ask you this then. So within this business, what are some of your biggest challenges that you face on the regular?
Okay. So biggest challenges are we do things a certain way, and not every marina does things a certain way. So whether you have someone coming in and they're, a wet slip contract or a dry rack contract, we have to, I hate to say, but we have to break them of their mentality of what they used to do. And that can be a challenge because a lot of people are set in their ways. And, we have things set up where it makes life easier for everyone. I like to say we're a concierge service. It's one phone call. You want something, consider it done. And a lot of people aren't used to that, and that's a big challenge to kind of get over that hurdle.
Yeah, I like that you said that you're concierge service because it is. I mean, it is kind of what you are. You're taking care of people. They're passing through. But I mean, we keep talking. I mean, I keep personally bringing up the transient thing because I want to help you get your name out there to the people that are outside of your region that are just kind of swinging by that may or may not know that you're even there and they got to travel a little ways up the inlet. But you gotta have a certain amount of local
Yeah.
um, patrons and things like that, and customers that are locals. Can you talk on them a little bit then?
Yeah. So we're what used to be called a retirement city. Now we're getting more and more families moving in, and people are moving from all over the country with their boats. And it's interesting, kind of learning to see what kind of boats are coming in. For years, it was deck boats. Now it's all center consoles. But everything at this marina is a luxury. Nobody needs a boat. Nobody needs a wet slip. Nobody needs a dry dock spot. So, yes, we are a concierge service. We're here for their luxury. If we can make it easier for them, and by making it easier, makes them have a more enjoyable time while they're at the marina, that's what we're here for. You have to give people a reason to want to be here, to want to spend money here. And it all goes back to, customer service. And no word is, the word no doesn't exist.
Hmm.
I'll keep saying that till I'm blue in the face, but it really is the truth.
Yeah. No. I know. Like I said, I kept pushing on the transients, but I mean, your local businesses. Um, I mean, they've got to be the bulk of what keeps that business running and really kind of fills the coffers through the year.
Yeah.
The transients are nice to help top the coffers up, I suppose, and all of that. But the reality is that local business has got to be the meat and potatoes of what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So again, we have a little bit of I don't want to call it an identity crisis, but when people hear, oh, a marina, they automatically think the saltwater side. So they're not familiar with the freshwater side, the ICW where we're at. So, it's a challenge to get people to realize where we are. But once they're here, they love it.
Well, here, just speaking of that, let's show people where I'm going to share my screen here right now. And then, let me know when you see it. It'll should come up here in a second there. Do you see the Google Maps?
Yep.
There you are. So you're in South Carolina, uh,
Yep.
and we're just gonna, let me just zoom in a little bit here. So this is the river, right? So they
Yep.
come in the inlet here and then travel up this way, and that's where you guys are located right there.
That's us.
Right on. And so, for anybody who's interested to swing on in, you got a general idea of where Wacca Wache Marina actually is. And here's the website. You can see that right now on your screen too. Is your website here now?
Yep.
And like we said, you guys offer a lot of different things. Come on, visit the website. It's just Wacca Wache, as seen on the screen here. WACCA, WACHE Marina in Murrells Inlet.
Now
So
you got to say it 3 times fast.
I not a chance. There's no way I could say that fast, let alone 3 times. uh, yeah. So, okay, so is there anything that you see being the manager, general manager of a marina like this within the industry and what's been happening? How long have you been there again?
I've been here almost 9 years.
9 years. So you've been around for a little bit of a time period. Can you tell me um, any insights you might have in your experience there of the trends or things that have shifted or changed over the years since you've been there? Are you getting more business, less business, different types of business? I'm going to let you kind of ramble on it a little bit, but are there any shifts in the industry and changes that you're seeing that so, for example, I talk to brokers and other people in the actual charter business and rentals and sales and stuff like that. The COVID during that time, sales for new boats and or just sales in general just skyrocketed,
Yeah.
which is understandable. A lot of our RV dealerships and stuff saw the same thing. People not allowed to leave their homes, and so they move into a mobile home or a boat or whatever to isolate and still be able to enjoy life and that sort of thing. Which I mean, it makes sense. So, is there anything in the way of that sort of thing? As kind of what I'm asking. Are there any trends or some shifts in the market that you have seen over your 9 years there that are notable, and maybe some of your insights on that?
So the area that we're in, a lot of the marinas have been independently owned, and corporations have bought a couple marinas. Safe Harbor is huge. Um, the company that bought Wacca Wache in 2021, Kiel Marinas, we didn't know what to expect when corporate was coming in. They're buying the marina. We didn't know what that meant. And, you have some negative thoughts because it's like, all right, you really don't want to, you still want to be able to be relatable to your customers, but you don't want to change what has helped grow this marina to where it was, that it was essentially made into a property where someone wanted to buy it. When Keel bought the marina, that was probably the best thing that could have happened to the marina. So not all corporate takeover, if you will, is a bad thing. They've made this marina what it is, and just the support you get from ownership is phenomenal. They listen to your ideas, they embrace your ideas, and they let you run with it. And that's typically not how corporate takeover is. But with Keel, they're fantastic. They really are. But yeah, other than that, trend wise, I mean, yeah, COVID really hurt a lot of people. Boat wise, they're still upside down the boat. They don't understand why they can't sell their boat, and it's just, it hurts when you say you overpaid for it, but you got to tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So
that's
are you involved in any kind of sale? I know you're just a marina, but just a marina. You're are you involved with any sales aspect of anything at all? Is that kind of not what you guys are into at all? Just kind of give me an idea of that.
we used to. We used to be a Suzuki dealer, so we sold outboards. We used to sell boats on consignment that were our customers' boats. But lately, we haven't really been into that market. People want too much money for their boat, and they don't understand that their boat isn't worth that, unfortunately. Especially with people who are moving down here, bringing their boats, and around here it's a lot of bowrider deck boats, center consoles, and when you show up with let's just say a 30-foot Sea Ray, you're in the wrong area to sell that boat. So that boat could be worth $25,000 up north, but it's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it down here, and that's probably nowhere near what they want. So you're in a hard market to really sell boats that kind of coming from all over.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this podcast has kind of been finding its own path here, and the reason why me and you connected is because I've realized I like talking to basically businesses who are connected to the yacht economy, as I call it. And that this is definitely one of those businesses. I mean, yachts are I mean, it's a subjective term, I guess. A yacht technically can be a lot of different things to different people, but anyway, um, I just enjoy talking to the different people who make a living and make a business out of boats and the world of boats, and you are one of those unique businesses that thrive and operate on. Um, we keep talking about it, those transient people that are in the yacht world. They're traversing north to south, south to north, whatever it may be, and they just kind of swing in and do what they need to do, get fuel, some food, maybe take in the scenes and all of that. Is Give me your kind of 30,000 foot view of kind of what I'm touching on here right now, and I just want people's opinions on it because what I realized pretty early on in doing this podcast is that you know the world of boats and yachts, it's an industry, but I've come to call it an economy because it really is that. I mean, it just is its own thing, and it serves so many people on so many different levels. I mean, look at you have a thriving business to supply fuel and food and people that are coming by, as well as locals to store their boats and all of that. But then you also have your partners in the restaurant, right? I mean, the restaurant makes money, and they're not owned by you; they're somebody else. You have the partners you have with your mechanics, the D's. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
And,
these.
so those guys they put food on their table and that sort of thing. You put food on your table with this business that you're doing with the marina. Um, and it goes on and on and on. You think about all the different stops that these people might make on their way up the coast, or the broker who sold them the boat in the first place, the guy who built the damn boat in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Like it is an amazing economy, and I keep calling it an economy because from the time somebody builds a vessel and it doesn't really matter what size, to be honest. It from small pleasure craft all the way up to super yachts. Um, the amount of money that is generated and feeds so many people and puts food on so many tables is mind blowing to me. So
Sure.
you're kind of right in the middle of seeing that and benefiting from it. So maybe can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, we have 12 employees. We're just a fraction of that economy that you're talking about. And if we don't attract people in, we don't have a business. We don't have a business. We're not putting money in our team's pockets so they can go do what they got to do. So it all bounces back to the people that you have. And they are the ones that make this marina as great as it is. And that's essentially what just keeps us going. Day after day, they just keep going and going. They don't give up. There's days where they want to strangle each other, but at the end of the day, they all laugh and have a good time. And that's what it really boils down to is how you recover from those bad days. Again, we're just that small piece of that economy that you're talking about, but there's so much that we do to help bring everyone in to make it thrive
Right.
economy. But
But
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. It's quite amazing and a little bit mind blowing when you think about how much money is generated
Yeah.
through this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's mind blowing. The deeper you start thinking about it, and like I said, the more people I talk to, and the deeper understanding I get, it just keeps blowing my mind. I mean, it, I have come to realize there is so much money that is generated and put back into the world of people. Um, through so many different levels, and it's kind of why I'm reaching out to so many different people that are connected to this world, um, and the podcast has kind of found its legs here recently in talking to those people, right? I mean, the businesses and people that benefit from the yacht and boat economy, as I call it, um, and yeah, I mean, it's always I always find a new level of intrigue, I guess, because it's just so many things I've never thought of. Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I was talking with a fella the other day who did some regattas, and the amount of money that was generated for a local economy over in Croatia, because he organized an event of some catamarans or some I believe it was catamarans in the Croatia area, and some small little town, and all these people coming and spending, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in that little town, stimulates their economy. I mean, it's kind of the same situation you're in. You're inland, you're not out on the water, you're not on the boats or boats specifically, but you cater to those vessels and the people on those vessels, and you make your living on that world, similar to
Yeah.
those people in Croatia. So it's just always I always find a new way to be blown away by the amount of money that gets generated for everybody. I mean, like it's so cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we get boats in here and we're just like you're looking at the fuel dock and there could be $6 million worth of boats there. We're just baffled, like, what do you do? Where do you get the money to get this? And it's just you talk to people who come in here and they have boats that they've restored and he goes, oh, I've done this and this and this. I'm saying to myself, I'm just hearing dollar signs in my head saying I can never fathom having that much money to put into a boat, let alone you got one fully restored right here. It's incredible what you see. And
Well, and again, other people I've spoken to, they take that leap of faith and they, grab their family and they buy a sailboat or a yacht, and then they travel the world and they
yeah,
raise their family rather than buying a house. Excuse me. Rather than buying a house and putting all their money into, or real estate or whatever, they buy a boat and they travel with their family and see the world. And you're just one of those businesses that caters to those people, and helps them along their way. But there's a lot of different locations that they go to, and they have maybe found a way to run a business from the boat. And technology nowadays allows people, Starlink keeps coming up
yeah,
on the regular, where now they're not restricted, they can have full internet access pretty much anywhere in the world. And
yeah,
so a lot of people are now shifting to working from their boats and yachts and traveling the world with their families and just living life the way they want to. And that's pretty cool. I mean, technology has now brought us to a place that people can do that, and I'm sure it does nothing but benefit a business like yours.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so my goodness, excuse me. Um, so I kind of asked this of everybody. I know you're not necessarily a yacht or boat guy. Do you own a boat, or
I do. I've
you?
I've had both my whole life. Um, Boating is in my blood. Um, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I boat. And I
Yeah.
blame that addiction on my father. He grew up on a boat, and he passed that addiction on to me. But if you told me 15 years ago I'm managing a marina, I wouldn't believe it. I mean, I get paid essentially to look at boats, talk about boats, and walk around a marina. I mean, it's
so you love them just as much as I do, and it's kind of the whole reason why I started this, because I just like them so much, and anything from a small little inflatable dinghy to the super yachts and mega yachts and things like that. So, is there it's kind of a two-part question. Is there a location that you've sailed to or gone to on the water that just kind of sticks out in your mind that you just love that place? And then secondly, is there a boat or a vessel that really holds a place in your heart, or it's just you've seen it and we're just mind blown about how awesome it was, that sort of thing? So location and a vessel, what's your thoughts on that?
No real specific location comes to mind. It's just really about creating, memories. My wife loves boating with me, so whatever venture we go on the boat, it's nice to make new memories with her. As far as a favorite boat, I'm gonna get made fun of, I'm sure, by a lot of my coworkers when they hear this, but for whatever reason, I grew up on my father's 1977 43-foot Viking, and those boats are just phenomenal. I mean, I actually have a 44 Viking coming into the marina today for a transient, and when I saw he was coming, he comes twice a year. I was like, oh, it's my favorite boat coming to the marina. That's literally what's written on his reservation. That's favorite boat. So yeah, nothing fancy. I mean, old school for me. That's it, really. Just a Viking.
Well, everybody has their own answer. A lot of people I ask those questions to is same sort of thing. Oh my God, there's so many locations, there's so many boats. But it's nice to be able to try and force people into a weird question like that they weren't expecting, and to see their answers, because everybody I talk to, we're all into boats. We're all the same in that we just love pretty much anything that floats, and it's a tough question to answer when you get forced upon you. What's the one that you really think about? But everybody always has an answer in the end.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Matt, it's been awesome talking to you. I really had a good conversation with you, and had a good time. Is there any place you want to send people? The website we already talked about, Wacca Wache Marina.com. Any social links you want to share with anybody, or anything like that?
Yeah, if you just want to go to our Facebook, Wacca Wache Marina, you'll see all of our interactions and get a feel for what we are.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to share with people? Anything you want to, any other businesses you want to shout out in your area? Anything like that?
Just that we appreciate everyone who stops by. Anyone who hasn't stopped by and they want to stop by, come see what we're all about. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. Matt, again, it's been great talking with you. Thank you very much for, taking time out of your day and talking with me, and maybe down the line we'll connect again and feature you guys on the podcast again.
Appreciate that.
It's been a good talk, and I guess we'll see you until next time.
You got it. Appreciate you having me.
All right. Take care.
Yep. Be good.
Thanks for sailing with us. This has been Portside Perspectives.